Welcome back to Days Drama Digest TV, my fabulous soap lovers. It is a gorgeous day to dive into the absolute madness happening in Salem. Grab your coffee, your tea, or maybe something a little stronger, because the next 2 weeks on Days of Our Lives are going to completely blow your mind. Let's get right into the juicy details, shall we? Let's kick things off with the absolute mess surrounding Gwen, Rafe, and the ever-ruthless DiMera. You know, I have always had a love-hate relationship with Gwen, but you have to admit, the girl knows how to survive. Right now, she is facing an unbelievable amount of pressure from Rafe. He is pushing her, practically cornering her, demanding that she completely betray EJ if she wants to secure full immunity for herself. And honestly, I think she is going to do it. EJ has always treated his pawns like garbage, and Gwen is no fool. She knows that loyalty to a DiMera usually ends with you in a body bag or a jail cell. Jada is also right there in the mix, carefully listening to Rafe's ambitious proposal to finally arrest and formally charge EJ. The psychological warfare here is just delicious. Rafe has been desperate to take down a big fish, and EJ's sheer arrogance might finally be his undoing. Will Gwen actually pull the trigger and flip? I am betting my bottom dollar she will, because self-preservation is her ultimate superpower. But here is the kicker. While Gwen is dealing with the Salem police, her bestie Leo Stark is pulling off the ultimate emotional heist over in Alemania. You won't believe what happens next with him and Dimitri. Leo, in a stroke of pure manipulative genius, is going to challenge Dimitri to prove his supposed undying love. And how does he want Dimitri to prove it? By setting him completely free. Are you kidding me? This is classic Leo Stark. He knows exactly how to play on Dimitri's twisted, obsessive emotions. And the craziest part is that Dimitri actually caved. Yes, you heard me right. The big bad von Leuschner is going to yield to Leo's demands because his love, or maybe his toxic obsession, is just that blinding. Leo is going to pack his fabulous bags and head straight back to Salem for an epic reunion with Gwen. I can already picture the dramatic hugs and the scheming plotting between those two. It is going to be television gold. And speaking of Leo, his return to Salem is going to drop an absolute nuclear bomb on Javi and Gus. Let's be real, we all saw this coming from a mile away. Gus is not stupid. He has been watching Javi pace around, clearly sweating over Leo's absence, and it has pushed their relationship right to the breaking point. Gus is finally going to realize that he is playing second fiddle to a ghost, and he is going to dump Javi. Breakups are always tough, but honestly, good for Gus for knowing his worth. Because the second Javi is single and Leo struts back into town, all bets are off. The spoilers are telling us that Javi is going to track Leo down the minute he returns from that chaotic Alemania trip. Javi is going to lay all his cards on the table and confess that he is still completely, madly in love with Leo. And yes, my friends, we are going to get a massive, celebratory reunion kiss. The chemistry between these two has always been a slow burn masterpiece, and seeing them finally crash back together is going to satisfy so many hardcore fans. Now, let's take a quick breather from the heavy adult drama and look at our younger Salemites. Holly and Tate are putting on their matchmaking hats, and I am totally here for it. They are dead set on pushing Aaron and Ariana together, and frankly, it is about time. The slow burn tension between Aaron and Ari has been building up for weeks. We already know Aaron recently planted a kiss on Ari, pushing their dynamic way past the friend zone. But you know how teenagers are, they need a little push to make things official. The perfect opportunity is going to fall right into their laps when Ari and Aaron are tasked with babysitting little Trey. Why are they babysitting? Because of a massive, impending tragedy involving Chanel, which I will get to in a minute. But being forced into this domestic, cozy babysitting situation is going to give Aaron and Ari the perfect chance to bond, connect, and maybe finally admit their feelings. It is a sweet, innocent storyline that we desperately need to balance out the intense darkness coming our way. And speaking of sweet moments, we need to talk about Julie. My heart has been aching for her ever since she lost her beloved Doug. She has been carrying this immense, suffocating grief, but it looks like the clouds are finally starting to part. Julie is going to open her heart to Foster. This is a huge psychological step for a legacy character who has been defined by one epic love story for decades. Allowing herself to feel something new, to be vulnerable with another man, is incredibly brave. The spoilers reveal that Julie and Foster are going to share their very first kiss. Can you believe it? It is going to be such a tender, emotional scene. I am so curious to see how she processes the guilt and the joy that comes with moving on. Will she feel like she is betraying Doug's memory, or will she embrace this new chapter with open arms? Knowing Julie, there will be plenty of tears and dramatic monologues, but I am rooting for her happiness. All right, grab your tissues, because we need to talk about the absolute nightmare unfolding at Salem University Hospital. I am so furious with the writers right now. Why on earth would you bring a beloved legacy character like Lexi Carver back from the dead, only to rip her away from us all over again? It is just cruel. Lexi is going to be officially admitted to the hospital, but the doctors are completely helpless. Whatever miracle doctor Rolf and EJ used to resurrect her is failing rapidly, and her condition is entirely irreversible. She is deteriorating at a terrifying speed. The psychological trauma this is going to inflict on Abe and Theo is beyond comprehension. Imagine being Abe. You mourned your soulmate for over a decade. You finally get her back in this miraculous plot twist, and now you have to stand by her hospital bed and watch the light fade from her eyes a second time. It is sheer psychological torture. And Theo? My heart shatters for him. He is going to be standing there, completely helpless, watching his mother slip away. The devastation in that hospital room is going to be palpable. Lexi is going to take her final agonizing breath, and the Carver family will be shattered all over again. I am dreading these scenes, but I know the acting is going to be Emmy-worthy. But here is the most poetic, gut-wrenching twist of all. At the exact moment Lexi is taking her last breath, Chanel is going to be fighting for her life in another wing of the hospital. Yes, Chanel is going into labor, but this is not going to be a happy, joyous delivery. The spoilers are screaming that Chanel's childbirth is going to take a horrific, terrifying turn. There is going to be a massive medical emergency that puts both Chanel's life and the baby's life in extreme jeopardy. The juxtaposition here is absolute cinematic brilliance, one life ending just as another is violently struggling to begin. Are we going to lose Chanel? Is Johnny going to be left a grieving widower with a newborn? Or worse, lose them both? The stakes have never been higher. The panic, the blood, the alarms blaring in the delivery room, it is going to be a high-octane cliffhanger that will leave us all gasping for air. As if the hospital isn't already overflowing with trauma, let's check in on Joy Wesley. Honestly, does anyone in Salem have worse luck right now? Joy is already dealing with so much horrific medical trauma, but Kayla is about to deliver some absolutely devastating news that will push her over the edge. Kayla is going to sit Joy down and admit that she is facing potential paralysis due to severe spinal stenosis. This is utterly terrifying. We know Joy was in a brutal car crash recently, and it seems the trauma to her spine is far worse than anyone initially thought. Imagine the psychological weight of this diagnosis. Joy is already terrified of losing her baby Kelsey to Stephanie's toxic interference, and now she is facing the reality that she might never walk again. How is she supposed to fight a custody battle or care for a newborn from a wheelchair? This is going to push Joy to her absolute breaking point. And you know Alex is going to lose his mind over this. He has already moved in to protect her, but this catastrophic health news is going to cement his devotion to Joy and completely obliterate whatever tiny shred of sympathy he had left for his estranged wife. Let's pivot to something a little more uplifting, though with Brady Black, you never know when the other shoe is going to drop. Sarah and Brady are officially taking their romance to the next level. They are going to look each other in the eyes and declare their love. Honestly, I am thrilled for Brady. The man has been emotionally waterboarded by DiMera for years. He desperately needs a safe, sane, and loving partner, and Sarah provides exactly that. But we all know the dark cloud hanging over them. Kristen is currently roaming around Salem disguised as Susan Banks, manipulating little Rachel right under Brady's nose. So while Sarah and Brady are enjoying this beautiful, romantic high, we as the audience are just waiting for the bomb to go off. How long until Kristen rips off that Susan mask and completely destroys Brady's newfound happiness? Enjoy the romance while it lasts, Sarah, because a DiMera storm is brewing. Meanwhile, Salem's resident psychiatrist is trading her notepad for a magnifying glass. Marlena has been trying to stay out of the dangerous chessboard conspiracy, but she is finally going to throw her hands up and say, enough is enough. She is going to stop resisting and dive headfirst into unraveling this bizarre mystery. And she is not doing it alone. Chad and Belle are going to get a massive boost when Marlena joins their amateur detective squad to trace the cryptic clues left behind on the board. Marlena's psychological expertise is exactly what they need to profile whoever is pulling the string. I love seeing Marlena in action like this. She isn't just a therapist. She is a fierce protector of her family. And when she sets her mind to solving a puzzle, you better believe she is going to crack it wide open. And you won't believe the absolute financial madness happening over at Titan. Philip Kyriakis is in full-blown panic mode. The company is teetering on the edge of total bankruptcy thanks to EJ's ruthless attacks, and Philip is desperate. So, what does he do? He goes to Gabi Hernandez and literally begs her for $5 million. Yes, $5 million. And why does he need it? To buy into a wildly dangerous, high-stakes poker game in Monte Carlo. This is insane. Philip is essentially betting the entire legacy of the Kyriakis family on a hand of cards. And the craziest part? Gabi actually yields and hands over the cash. Gabi is a gambler at heart, and she loves the thrill of the risk. The two of them are jetting off to Monte Carlo to play the most stressful game of poker in Day's history. Will they win big and save Titan, or will Philip lose it all and destroy his family's empire forever? The suspense is literally killing me. Finally, as the dust settles on these 2 chaotic weeks, we are going to see Abe and Paulina leaning heavily on each other. Their marriage is going to be tested by an unimaginable wave of grief and terror. Abe will be completely shattered by the final, permanent loss of Lexi, wandering in a haze of depression. Meanwhile, Paulina will be out of her mind with worry over Chanel's life-threatening childbirth complication. They are both facing the potential loss of the people they love most in this world. Abe needs to be there to anchor Paulina, and Paulina needs to hold Abe together as he buries Lexi once again. It is going to be a masterclass in emotional acting. So, what do you guys think? Will Chanel and her baby survive this horrific ordeal? Will Gwen actually send EJ to prison? And are you as furious as I am about Lexi's tragic fate? Let me know all your thoughts, theories, and rants in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Day's Drama Digest TV. Until next time, stay dramatic, Salem fans.